They're stepping in for the Richmond Police Department while officers honor fallen brother Daniel Ellis in Washington, D.C. We'll tell you why multiple agencies stepped up to the plate.
This portion of High Street was closed for several hours this morning. I'll explain why coming up.
It looks great the rest of your Friday, no problems whatsoever. Your weekend, you got a little rain, and you also have the possibility of a little frost too. I'm going to go over that coming up.
This is WKYT News at noon.
Good afternoon from WKYT News. I'm Barbara Bailey.
And I'm Bill Bryant. Here's what's happening at noon. More than 24 Richmond police officers are in our nation's capital this midday. It's ahead of a ceremony honoring one of their own. Officer Daniel Ellis was killed in the line of duty last fall. His sacrifice will be honored during a ceremony at the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial in Washington, D.C. tomorrow.
And while his fellow officers are paying tribute to him, police in other parts of Madison County are stepping up to help cover their patrols. WKYT's Caitlin Setner has more on this outpouring of support. It's our top story at noon. Caitlin?
It might be a favor, but it's something they wanted to do. Richmond might not be their normal stomping grounds per se, but the Berea Police Department is patrolling the area while officers honor their fallen brother. Richmond Police Department is remembering fallen officer Daniel Ellis this week. It's Police Week, and in Washington, D.C., fallen officers from around the country will be honored at a memorial Sunday. Officer Ellis is one of 6 from Kentucky. It's a special and emotional moment for the brothers in blue. That's why Berea Police wanted to step in and patrol Richmond at no cost to the Richmond Police Department.
We're all a family, and we're a close-knit family in Madison County. You know, we work so close together all the time anyways, between us and the Sheriff's Department, Richmond Police. So it was an easy decision for us to help them out. I know that they would do the same for us.
I talked with one of the Berea officers out patrolling Richmond today, and he says the call volume is larger here, but it's really been a joy to do. Madison County Sheriff's Office and EKU Police are also helping patrol. In Richmond, Caitlin Setner, WKYT.
Now, the Berea Police Department sent one of its officers to Washington, D.C., and there's a candlelight vigil tonight, a Memorial Sunday, and other events planned throughout Police Week. WKYT Sean Moody will be in Washington, D.C. covering the ceremonies to honor Kentucky's fallen heroes. You can see his reports starting tonight on WKYT News at 6.
A stretch of High Street in Lexington is back open here at midday after being closed for several hours following an overnight crash. Police say a truck crashed into a utility pole between Ashland and Clay Avenues about 3 o'clock this morning. It knocked out electricity to about a dozen KU customers and kept the road closed during the morning rush. WKYT's Mike Byer is near the scene where the power has now been restored.
All is back to normal along this stretch of High Street, but that wasn't the case just a few hours ago. A portion of the road between Ashland and Clay Avenues was closed for several hours this morning. Police say a driver hit a utility pole, which damaged a transformer. As a result, police closed the roadway so Kentucky Utilities could make the proper repairs. The incident caused several nearby houses and businesses to lose power for a few hours. One of those businesses affected was the Park Early Childhood Center. Director Janice Combs says the power outage forced them to close during what would have been a busy morning.
It is what it is. Little bit of a hassle, really more for parents than for us. We've just shown up to work like we always do.
Now, Combs says the Park Early Childhood Center has reopened and is back to its normal hours. In Lexington, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Mike, thank you. We have not received any information on the driver's condition at this point. A Central Kentucky family is worried about their home after a sinkhole opened up nearby. That hole along Fork Church Road in Garrett County is about 30 feet deep and is growing. Our Phil Pendleton will have an update on the situation. A report on that coming up on WKYT News in a few minutes at 12:30.
We're finally getting a break from all that rain today, but Enjoy it while it lasts, because showers and colder temperatures are moving back into the bluegrass for the weekend. WKYT meteorologist Micah Harris is live in our First Alert Weather Center now with a look ahead.
Yeah, really nice look outside. A lot of sunshine, very nice temperatures. It feels really good, and it's not really warming very fast. That's because that cooler air is filtering on in here. Temperature-wise, we're sitting in the mid-60s, a couple of upper 60s down south. But when we finish off the day, it's upper 60s, lower 70s, extremely nice conditions. Only a couple of showers tomorrow. You will not see a lot of rain this weekend. It's actually about the patchy frost we're going to be talking about and focusing in on. That's what's really going to affect you. I'll talk all about that. I'll show you when you can expect that, and also those storms for next week. That's coming up.
Lexington now has 5 new traffic safety officers. They graduated from an 8-week training academy as part of a new initiative to enhance the police department's response times to traffic calls. WKYT's Michelle Chamberlain has reaction from today's ceremony.
In an effort for the Lexington Police Department to respond to calls in a more cost-effective way, there will be 5 new safety officers on the streets in Lexington. The safety officers are considered police officer support system. The 5 safety officers graduated today after completing an 8-week training academy. The program is an initiative to alleviate the load off of sworn personnel so they can deal with more pressing calls and criminal activity. These safety officers can write citations for non-moving violations. They will help direct traffic, assist with non-injury collisions, and motor assist situations. Nanette Lewis is one of today's 5 graduates. She's no stranger to the Lexington Police Department. Nanette has been a dispatcher for more than 15 years and is looking forward to getting a new perspective of, quote, the other side.
I wanted to get back to that face-to-face contact with the public and be a better support for the officers.
These safety officers will hit the road with traffic officers starting on Monday, and the hope for the Lexington Police Department is to hire and train 5 more people in the upcoming weeks. In Lexington, Michelle Chamberlain, WKYT.
Michelle, thank you. And the Safety Officer Program in Lexington is the only certified academy in the state. The Urban County Council has approved a 5-year contract for body cameras for Lexington police officers. The department expects the cameras to arrive by late next month. About 100 officers will have them at first, and eventually 400 will be fitted with 2 cameras each. According to the Herald Leader, the more than $2.5 million contract also covers storage costs for the video.
Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign has announced that she will be returning to Kentucky ahead of Tuesday's primary. Details of her visit have not been released here at midday, but the Democratic frontrunner for president is planning to be in Kentucky on Sunday and again on Monday. Clinton's opponent is returning to Kentucky as well this weekend. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders will hold a rally in Bowling Green tomorrow night, and he will speak in Paducah on Sunday. Meanwhile, Kentucky native George Clooney is weighing in on the election, vowing there will not be a President Donald Trump because fear is not what drives the country, he says. The actor talked politics during a panel at the Cannes Film Festival for his upcoming film Money Monster. Clooney says today's news media has played a large role in getting Trump where he is now.
24-hour news doesn't mean you get more news. It just means you get the same news more. So the more and more and more you hear, these guys, the ratings go up because they can show an empty podium saying Donald Trump is about to speak, as opposed to taking those 30 seconds and saying, well, let's talk about refugees, which is the biggest crisis that's going on in the world right now. Would really all of the corporations fall on their knees if we did actually inform a little bit?
Clooney's comments shouldn't come as much of a surprise. Last month, he hosted a couple of fundraisers that raised millions of dollars for Hillary Clinton. Well, 8 lucky people will be sharing last weekend's $430 million Powerball jackpot.
The New Jersey Lottery says they will come forward today to claim the game's 6th largest jackpot. One of the players bought 2 tickets, and one matched all 6 Powerball numbers in Saturday night's drawing. That person chose the smaller lump sum payment, turning their small investment into $284 million before taxes.
Not a bad payoff still, even divided up,
yes.
Right? Well, the Obama administration is telling every public school in the nation to begin accommodating transgender students, including access to bathrooms. We'll have the latest on the debate coming up on Kentucky's #1 Midday News.
Also ahead, Prince Harry is back across the pond after wrapping up the Invictus Games in Florida. We'll have more on his moving speech from the closing ceremony next on WKYT. Welcome back to WKYT News at noon. The Obama administration is weighing in on the subject of how schools should treat transgender students.
The new federal guidelines come as the debate over which bathrooms transgender people should use is spreading to more states. Weijia Jiang has the latest from the White House.
Every public school in the country received this letter this morning from the Departments of Education and Justice. It offers guidance for how transgender students should be treated, especially with regard to bathroom and locker room access and housing. The guidelines dictate that transgender students are not to be discriminated against and should be treated consistent with their gender identity, even if it differs from school records. The directive comes days after the Obama administration ordered North Carolina to repeal its law requiring people to use bathrooms corresponding to the gender on their birth certificate.
This action is about a great deal more than bathrooms.
The lieutenant governor of Texas says he will not enforce the guidelines.
The president does not know the line he crossed this time. When you take on mom and dad in their homes, or the president threatens their children, he has made a huge mistake.
The Obama administration letter cites Title IX and warns noncompliance could cost schools billions. The guidelines say, as a condition of receiving federal funds, a school must not treat a transgender student differently from the way it treats other students of the same gender identity. While some districts are welcoming the new guidance, many say school administrators are facing much larger problems. Weijia Jiang, CBS News, the White House.
A court will decide if North Carolina's law violates Title IX. The White House says the state will continue to receive federal education funds until the matter is resolved. A funeral will be held this afternoon for the U.S. Navy SEAL killed in Iraq earlier this month. The military is asking people to line the streets in Coronado, California, to honor Charles Keating IV. His remains will be transported across Coronado's bridge to San Diego to be buried at Fort Rosecrans National Cemetery. Keating was killed in a firefight with ISIS forces. Well, 4 days of inspirational performances and stories have come to an end as the Invictus Games wrapped up in Orlando, Florida.
500 athletes from 15 countries gathered at Walt Disney World for the star-studded closing ceremony, which included performances by Florida, former American Idol winner Philip Phillips, and the Pride of Harlan Voice Season 9 winner Jordan Smith. Prince Harry, the host of the Games, then saluted the athletes and moments that embodied the spirit of the competition.
Never stop fighting and do all you can to lift up everyone around you.
The U.S. captured the most gold medals during the Games, but Prince Harry says the competition was more about bringing amazing people together and sharing experiences.
Inspirational time there, certainly. More complaints about inadequate staffing and long wait times at airport security screening checkpoints across the country.
Find out what the TSA is saying about the problems coming up in a report on WKYT News at 12:30.
There's absolutely nothing to dislike about today, but the weekend is going to be much colder. Notice I'm saying cold and not cool. I'm going to show you how low we go with those temperatures coming up next.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Yeah, we are extremely nice outside. We're talking about temperatures there in the mid-60s at this moment. We'll finish off upper 60s, lower 70s. It's just an awesome day. It's actually boring weather, and boring weather is good, especially where we have been the past few days. 64 degrees now in Lexington. Look at London and Corbin, Jackson. Beautiful in Jackson now. Frankfurt at 64 degrees. We did have some clouds over toward the east and southeast early this morning, but those have since moved on out, and now we're just left with a mixture, mostly sunny skies, just a couple of clouds here and there. No rain expected the rest of the day, and that'll take you in towards your afternoon. Anywhere from 4 to 5 p.m., we're talking temperatures right around 70 degrees, and a nice little breeze as well, coming in from the north and northwest. That's pumping in some much cooler air and much colder air. And for the weekend, as a front actually dives in here, and that front will bring us the opportunity at a couple of rain showers tomorrow morning. Notice I'm saying a couple of rain showers. This is no washout. It's no widespread rain. It's nothing that's going to make you cancel any plans. Yes, you could get a couple of showers over you, but none of this is thunderstorms, none of this is extremely heavy rain. So stick to your plans because it doesn't last long. There's 8 a.m. I'd say it starts in the north at 5 a.m. roughly, give or take, and then it moves southbound as we go throughout the morning hours, southeast right around 10, 11 a.m., and then it moves on out. Look at the afternoon. That's why I say don't cancel your plans, okay? Because it won't last long, and it moves on through. And those temperatures there in the upper 50s to around 60 degrees there on Saturday. And then we go throughout the night. Saturday might be a night that you have to throw on some sheets or whatever it may be on top of your plants, because green thumb alert there on Sunday morning is the possibility of some frost is actually in the forecast. Now, rule of thumb is after Derby, that's when you can start planning. But also Barb was telling me yesterday that another rule of thumb is might as well just wait till after Mother's Day, because that's the best time to actually watch out for some frost. We head in toward the afternoon there on Sunday at 60 degrees. Sunday's going to be dry, but it's still on the chilly side of things when typically we're in the lower 70s. So today we're right there, upper 60s, lower 70s, sunny skies. Tomorrow it's mainly 5 a.m. to about 10 a.m. is when you can expect a few showers to roll on through. And then the big focus is going to be that frost threat there on Sunday morning. As of right now, I do not expect widespread frost, just some patchy spots here and there, especially those valley areas. And then next week, guys, if you can date back to Monday, like we were talking about early this morning at 10 a.m., date back to Monday, this past Monday. It was a nice day. Then you go off into the night. Here comes some storms. And then it was one round after another the next few days. It's exactly what it looks like there in my 7-day forecast.
Well, Buzz and Barb and I can go back beyond Monday. So
It's been a long week, okay? Some people cannot date back that way. It's been a long week.
I know it has. And you guys have worked hard this week.
Appreciate the weekend.
Coming next, the baseball Cats with a huge series this weekend in Oxford.
While some former Cats try to prove their worth, Dave Baker has sports next.
And let's check stocks as we head into afternoon trading. The major market indicators are down.
The players the Wildcat fans have loved since before they stepped on campus. Now hard at it for day 2 of the NBA Draft Combine in Chicago, and so too is our own Brent Carney.
The festivities here in Chicago set to conclude today. Of the 4 former Wildcats from last year's team that are here, only Marcus Lee scheduled to speak with the media today. Now, yesterday he wasn't quite ready to officially declare for the NBA draft, but it is obvious that he is very close.
I see it at a solid maybe 85%, 87% right now. Still have a couple more things to do, get a little bit more feedback to see where I am. I mean, when you get here, you have to be either all in or you're not going to do well. So mentally, you always have to be thinking that you're gonna be gone, and that's how I'm feeling right now.
The reason for my year last year, I don't know. You know, I tried. I did everything that Coach Cat asked me to do. You know, I give my best to the team, and that's all I can say.
I'm trying to prove that I belong in the league. I mean, that's what I have to do this next whatever month until the draft. I have to not only play well here, you know, just continue to improve.
Why are you different than everybody else here?
I'm shorter. Nah,
I wasn't gonna go there.
But no, you know, I feel like my game's a lot different. My IQ, not many point guards now, you know, are thinking the game the way I think. I don't believe so. You know, I feel like my feel for the game is a lot different.
Ulis answered one question after another about his height when speaking to the media, but said so far in his visits with teams, that subject hasn't come up. In Chicago, Brent Carney, WKYT.
Thanks, Brent. Big series opener for the UK baseball team last night in Oxford, down 1-0. Freshman Tristan Pompey squares one up, and it leaves the yard at Swayze Field. A rope to right center. Pompey's 6th of the year. It's tied at 1-1. Boy, tough sequence here for the Cats, down 2-1. Troy Squires strikes out. Catcher has to tag him. Squires running to first. The throw gets away from the first baseman. 2-run score, and Kentucky's up 2-1. But wait just a minute. You see the umpire there on the field? Squires called out for running inside that first base run box. Then in the 8th, Rebels get another break. Colby Bortles, nice grab to start the 5-4-3 double play. But guess what? Hairston beat the throw, and a guy still calls him out. That's what they say is baseball. Kentucky drops game 1, 3-1. Game 2 is tonight. Speaking of tonight on the Big Blue Insider with Dick Gabriel, our Brent Carney checks in from the NBA Combine, and more from Coach Cal looking ahead to the coming season. That's at 6 on 630 WLAP. Guys, hope you and yours have a great weekend.
And same to you. Thank you very much, Buzz. And keep it right here. There's a lot more coming up in the next half hour of WKYT News at noon.
The search continues for the man who assaulted a woman in a Kroger parking lot overnight.
County road crews are busy filling up a massive sinkhole before it damages a roadway.
Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is $161 million, and Saturday night's Powerball jackpot is $50 million.